board. Speaking of seconds, we're launching the second jet ski into the water with cameraman Larry Haynes on board with the Hawaiian Water Patrol team. Up and riding out the back, this is white Nolan Keolana. Nolan with a nice turn. Comes back to the bottom. And that one just kind of shouldering off a little bit. Little tail movement on that rebound off the whitewater. Going for some tail sliding action. Nolan kicks out. Still standing by for scores to come in onto our standupworldtour.com website. We can tell you that there is just about 12 minutes remaining. 12 minutes. And here's a set on the outside. However, nobody in this heat in the proper position to take advantage, so it'll go through unridden. Aloha and welcome if you're just joining us on standupworldtour.com or on the beach. We're glad to have you, and it's going to be an exciting day of competition as we are in our final day. We will be crowning a champion today of this Stand Up World Tour Sunset Beach Pro, the first event on the Stand Up World Tour. So the winner of this event will get some great momentum, along with some spending money, of course, and valuable Stand Up World Tour points heading into the next event, which I believe is in Brazil. Stop number 2. So we'll just take it event by event here. We do know that we are at Sunset Beach right now for day number 3 of this men's edition of the Stand Up World Tour. Day number 4 overall of the World Tour, kicking off 2013. We had day number 1 last Wednesday, a week ago exactly. Last Wednesday at Turtle Bay Resort for the Turtle Bay Women's Pro. And for the Nakamakai Youth Challenge, our junior event, our women's event was won by Nicole Pacelli. And it was a historical Stand Up World Tour Women's Pro event there at Turtle Bay because it was the official kickoff of the Women's Stand-Up World Tour Surfing Series. We've had ladies in the racing the last few years, but this is the first Stand-Up World Tour Surfing edition for the women. So historical day last Wednesday for the Stand-Up World Tour Women division. And also we had our Nakamakai Youth Challenge, which was won by Poinaiki Rioja. And Poinaiki also surfing in this men's division. We'll see him coming up a little later. And one of those other surfers surfing in the juniors that is also in the men's coming up in the next heat is Mo Freitas in blue. But meanwhile, in this heat remaining, we have just about 7 minutes left in heat number 6. Still waiting for scores. We have not been able to get our scores filtered into the computer as of yet. So our staff and production crew working hard to get the live scoring up and running for us so that we can give out scores on the beach. There's a nice view of the bike path, the infamous Sunset Beach bike path with all of our tents and scaffolding lined up here for day number 4 of this first event of the Stand-Up World Tour. This is the Sunset Beach Pro. Apparently, all I had to do is hit the refresh button. Shows you how technically savvy I am. So, standings in this heat so far. Out in the lead is blue Leiko Salazar. Leiko with a 6.25 and a 7.15. Robin Johnston is in second with a 7.0 and a 3.9. Nolan Keolana is in third, out of advancement. To get into advancement, he needs a 6.66. He needs a very devilish ride to get up into second place. He's got a 3.75 and a 4.25. Nolan in white needs a 6.66. Here we go. This could provide some scoring opportunity. A little set off the point here. Looks like Nolan is in position. And he needs this wave with just over 5 minutes remaining. Nice big bottom turn. Snapping on the open face, throwing lots of spray. Now gets out in front of the section. And a little too far out in front. Had he been able to stay with that one, he would have got a couple more opportunities for adding to his score, but he kicks out, maybe going for positioning to get another set off the point. But he is headed back out. We'll tell you what that score comes in at as soon as we see it on our computer screen. Once again, mahalo to the Hawaiian Water Patrol for providing water safety and also those great epic water shots that'll be used for our post-production pieces. Also, mahalo to our judges upstairs and all of our crew here of the Waterman League running the cameras and the behind-the-scenes action. Mahalo for your support of Stand-Up World Tour Surfing. And thank you to all of our great sponsors as well. The Waterman League, Turtle Bay Resort, Starboard, Amp Energy, GoPro, Pacifico, and Malibu Rum, to name a few among the many sponsors. Maui Gym Sunglasses, also Dahui SUP, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, among our sponsors of this Stand-Up World Tour Sunset Beach Pro. Go Mokulele Airlines, also part of our crew. And I'm Rocky Cannon. I'll be taking you through the play-by-play throughout the day. I'll be joined periodically by Zane Schweitzer, Anthony Vella, among others, to provide some play-by-play commentary for you. On this, the final day of the Sunset Beach Pro, we will be crowning a champion today, as this is our last day of competition for this first event of 2013. Under 3 minutes now, under 3 minutes remaining. Our next heat is standing by. Check this out on the outside. With only a couple minutes remaining, Nolan Keolana needs a score. His last score was a 4.35, not enough. But he can get a 6.56 and advance into second place. Got a nice looking wall here. Big bottom turn, nice top turn. And out the back, Robin Johnston. Big late drop. Stuck behind the section for just a moment. And he will kick out of that wave. Not sure why. And here goes Leko. Leko up off the top, throwing nice spray there. Nice design on that board. Really getting the attention of the spectators. And nice paddle transitions there for Leko Salazar, as he maneuvers through that inside section on possibly his last wave. Less than a minute remaining. Trying to boost a little backside aerial action with the backwash, Leko Salazar. All right, so we're just about 30 seconds remaining. On the outside, it's Robin Johnston. Red up and riding. All he needs is a hood, and he'll be Red Riding Hood. But he's snapping a couple of nice turns in that open face. A little bit of the head snap accent, just for good measure. 3, 2, 1. All right, that was the end of heat number 6 of round 3. Judges are getting those scores locked in for Robin Johnston. And maybe that's why he kicked out on that previous wave, to get that last one right at the buzzer all the way to the beach. Great job for former runner-up of this event, Robert Johnston. Unofficial results, Leko Salazar in first, Robin Johnston in second. Standing by to start. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning and welcome to our final day here of the Stand Up World Tour Sunset Beach Pro. This is Wednesday, February the 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you and yours watching on standupworldtour.com. And your finger's totally in that shot, O'Neill, but that's okay. We're looking at surf in the range of 3 to 5 feet. 5 feet being the occasional set. Mostly 2 to 4 feet. Very high performance. Much different from what we've seen the first couple of days of competition. As you see our competitors coming in from that last heat. Robin Johnston on the left and Nolan Keolana on the right in the white jersey. And it'll be a lot of high-performance surfing today. Not as much the survival conditions that we've seen on last week, Friday and Saturday. But nonetheless, very contestable. We will be crowning a champion today. And we hope you stick around all day and watch. Check us out on our Facebook. That's facebook.com/Stand Up World Tour. And also standupworldtour.com. You can provide comments and things of that nature on the Facebook site, which we do have up and running with our crew that is letting us know what is happening with that Facebook site. But stick with us. We are in heat number 7 of the round of 3. Well, you got Mo Freitas out there, a contest champion from last November in Ubatuba, Brazil. We've also got Caio Vaz out, or Ian Vaz out in the water right now. And also Carlos is in the water as well. So this should be an exciting heat number 7. Heat number 8, check in. Heat number 8, please check in. And we got a nice little set to start this heat. Just a couple of minutes gone by. It looks like all 3 surfers kind of tightly positioned. Who's going to get this one? It is the surfer in white. That is Carlos Bahia. Carlos stalling, pulling in, traveling, and just getting clamped there. You know, on a day like today, these barrels are going to just be very tightly packed. So it's going to be tough to get in and out of one of these barrels. But Mo Freitas on a small board really can get that one moving as he slashes off the top in the open face right before that one closes out. So Carlos in the white starts off with an unsuccessful barrel attempt. And Mo Freitas starts with a nice slashing turn into the closeout section, and he'll milk it all the way to shores on his backhand for his wave number 1. That's Blue Mo Freitas. And that leaves out the back all by his lonesome. This man in red, Ian Vaz. I believe he is brother of Caio Vaz, the Brazilian stand-up paddlers. This is the younger brother of Caio Vaz. And Ian getting a score under his belt for wave number 1. And here is Carlos Bahia. So we have a heat here with all 3 surfers having some Brazilian ties. Of course, Ian and Carlos surfing for the country of Brazil with Brazil next to their names. And Mo Freitas being a mixed breed. He is father from Brazil. I believe his mom is from here in Hawaii. So he is surfing out of Hawaii, but he does have those Brazilian ties. So next heat, check in. Keikoa Awai, Arsene Harihoy, Noah Ginella, check in for heat number 8. Sorry, heat number 9. This is heat number 8 in the water right now. So we've got 4 more heats to finish up the round 3, and then we'll be getting into round 4. Then we'll be really getting into the nitty-gritty of this event, into the higher rounds where we should see performance levels escalate. Standing by for scores, and then we'll give you an update. 16 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Ooh, look at this out the back. This is some motion in the ocean. We should see consistent surf throughout the day. So that was one of the decisions helping contest organizers make the call to go today. We do have a swell filling in. It's only going to get better throughout the day as the sun peaks over the ridge, the mountain ridge in the back. We should see conditions improve. Big late drop for Carlos Bahia. He can't hold on, and he goes down. It was just a little late on that takeoff. Carlos Bahia cannot hold on. On the outside, it is red. Ian Vaz can't get into that one. And more waves out the back. Some of the bigger waves we've seen of the morning so far. This is in the 4 to 5 foot range, Hawaiian style. And Mo Freitas able to stroke his way into this one. And he's going to stall in the section, fade to the bottom, and then go off the top. And that one fades quickly in the channel. He has to get near that whitewater to continue if he wants to, but he kicks out. So you can see how fast the wave drops off there on the end. You have to cut back and stay very, very close to that whitewater section in order to continue riding at this particular day at Sunset Beach. Carlos Bahia pulling in. He finds a little head dip shampoo action. Hello?
Robin, first heat of the day, how'd it go for you?
Went pretty well. Fell on a second wave, but that's okay. Made up for it on my third wave. Was lucked out and got it all the way in.
And what are the conditions like? Do you think it's contestable this morning?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of that between size, which can be tricky, where it's like deep and wide, so you're chasing a lot, but it's still really fun. It's, you know, by most people's standards, it's good waves.
Thank you so much, Robin. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations, Robin. Good job. You're welcome. We'll see you in round number 4. But not before we get done with round number 3, which is in the water right now. Last score for Ian Vaz in red, a 4.0. Scores coming in for Carlos Bahia, a 175, a 09, and a 035. And here's a replay of his last wave where he tucks under and just gets nice little head jive action going. That last score, a 2.1. Mo Freitas' scores coming in at a 3.65 and a 3.7. So blue Mo Freitas is in first. Red Ian Vaz is in second. White Carlos Bahia is in third. And Carlos needs a 191 to go to second. White needs a 191 to go to second. Time remaining 12 minutes and 12 seconds. There you see in the next heat getting ready. Slapping his leash around Noah from Cavella Janella. On the outside, red Ian Vaz. Slashing off the top, catches a rail, not able to hold on. He goes down. Here we go on the outside, Carlos Bahia. Nice big bottom turn, little mid-face cutty right there. And he's got lots more open face to work with, pumping down the line, looking for a section. And really not making much happen with that nice open wall he had I thought he was going to do more off the bottom, off the top surfing like this man, Mo Freitas, on the outside, attacking the lip. I think that's what the judges want to see, smashing it a third time, but unable to complete that third one, but score those first two nice lippers on the outside as Ian Vaz off the bottom, off the top, attacking the lip as well. Hawaiian Water Patrol in the foreground, and Ian with a nice big floater holds on. His body weight was a little askew on the descent, but he somehow holds on. Hey guys, when you're finished surfing your heat, come on man, this is not the Menehune. Bring back your rash guard, your jersey right away. We don't have to go shower with your jersey on to show everybody that you're a competitor. You don't have to go like parade down the bike path wearing your rash guard. Okay, just bring it right back. Nine minutes and 20 seconds, and I'd like to welcome up to the microphone in the announcer's booth one of the assistant commentators for this year's Stand Up World Tour at Sunset Beach Pro, Mr. Anthony Vella. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Rocky. I'm more like the assistant to the assistant to the assistant, but definitely enjoying hanging out here with such a professional like yourself, and just this webcast is looking really nice.
Yep, we got the webpage here up and running. We are in heat number 8 of the third round. And this is what we've been seeing most of the morning is 2 to 4 foot surf, more high performance. But the good thing is that we're going to be having consistent waves all day. The buoys are still up and good. So it's not a dying swell. It's actually kind of an influxing swell.
Right, which is great for these competitors. And you know, this contest has really given them an opportunity to show their full package. Big wave surfing in the early rounds, all the way down to, 4 to 6 foot surf, which is most people would consider big as well.
Yep, and we should see a lot of really radical maneuvers today. We've seen a couple from Mo Freitas so far. Last score for Mo Freitas, attacking the lip. He gets an 8.25. Mo Freitas in blue in the lead. Ian Vaz is in second, standing by for his last score. Carlos Bahia in third. Stand by for the last of red, and then Carlos will know what he needs. But these are some of the bigger sets of the day coming in so far right here, Anthony, and it's a promising thing to see so early in the morning, and we should look forward to a good day of competition.
And look who's in position, Mo Freitas with a late drop. Looks like the wind got underneath him, and he just came unstuck, unable to make the drop, but he'll make his way back out for another wave. Mo with the highest heat total of the event so far, and looks like he's looking to do the same in this heat.
Well, we just got about 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, and you touched on a very nice point about the surfers being able to display their wide range of skill, not only in the huge, challenging kind of survival conditions that we had on Friday and Saturday, but now they get to showcase their high-performance skills as Hawaiian Water Patrol assisting with the lost board of Mo Freitas. And make sure your equipment is intact today, because we should be able to have our equipment survive today's conditions. I don't think we'll see any more double leash bandits in the competition today, but Mo Freitas getting some assistance from Hawaiian Water Patrol, back to his board, and he's your current heat leader.
And you can really see the power of these waves still breaking leashes. It may look small out there on TV, but I guarantee you Mo just had a pretty good hold down, enough to snap his leash. He's making his way in on the other side of Val's Reef. He'll do the rundown, jump back into the channel, and head back out there with a new leash.
Yep, there's someone running down with an extra leash for Mo.
Looks like Neat's on.
Yep, and he's got 6 minutes. So if he does come across our path, we'll let him know, but he may head straight back out through the shores area, which is possible with today's conditions. And we got to see the many different faces of Sunset Beach as well.
And I'll tell you what, the day the contest had its first lay day, it looked pretty scary out there. A number of the competitors were giving it a look. I think people were wanting to see if anyone would go out, but nobody did. And everyone enjoyed the North Shore that day.
And there were some pretty good waves over at Waimea, I know, on those bigger days, and saw quite a crowd enjoying not only the lineup, but also enjoying the spectating along the natural arena setting of Waimea Bay. Last score of Ian Voss was his best score, comes in at a 5.6, so he is solidly in second place. Third place, Carlos Bahia. Carlos in third. You need a 6.5. Your last score of 3.1. White, you need a 6.5 to go to second. 4 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock.
And Rocky, looks like you called it right. Mo Freitas choosing to go out and, looks like we've got a replay. That's Mo. This is Mo's 8.25. You'll see a nice vertical snap off the top. Boom! Again, attacking the lip with an airdrop down. One more turn. Boom! That was absolutely well ridden. He didn't just think of his score had he landed that last maneuver.
Yeah, it would have been even more into the excellent range had he been able to complete that third maneuver. But very fluid and flowing style for Mo. He didn't waste any energy or any extra time in between those turns, and it was a great score, and that's why he's your heat leader.
We've got White up and riding, taking off deep, trying to get around the section, using his paddle. That's Carlos Bahia. Now he's got a little bit of speed, but kind of unstuck behind the section for that wave.
Looks like one of those chops got a hold of him and just kind of sent him catapulting off the board forward. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. There's a shot of Ian Voss getting his rash guard readjusted. And Mo Freitas heading out after getting his replacement leash. Mo, you got 3 minutes. Mo, you got 3 minutes. And looks like he might be getting word from coach or dad to just go ahead and bring it on in. Being in the lead with an 8.25 with 3 minutes. He may be going for energy savior. This is the final day. So these guys in round three, that's something that we want to touch on too, as far as who's got to expend the most energy today. Is these guys in round three got to surf today, but if they want to be in the final, they're going to have to surf one extra time than the guys who already advanced from day number 2 into round 4. So that's an extra heat that they got to go out in, and Mo possibly wanted to save some of that crucial, very important energy.
That's such a good point, Rocky. As we finish up these last heats of round 3, there are several competitors already into round 4, which gives them an extra chance to rest. And Mo Freitas with Riggs Napoleon out of the competition. He's also our youngest competitor remaining, riding his focus board, negotiating Val's Reef. Looks like he might try and paddle out again.
Yeah, he's just kind of there's a little current that runs between the reef and the beach right there. And we'll see if he attempts for another paddle out. Mo, you got 1 minute and 50 seconds. 1 minute, 50 seconds. And with the size of his board, it just sinks anytime he stops paddling. As we see red, it might be a good idea to rest those legs or just surf Val's. And Ian with a nice full roundhouse cutty, looking good on that one. Negotiating the little bit of morning sickness that we're seeing on the surface of the water out here at Sunset Beach, but that should be clearing up throughout the day. This looks to be like one of Ian's best scoring rides as he gets a beautiful reform on the inside. This one just linking up beautifully for Ian Voss and not having to work at all to make the connection. He just made it by riding that wave. So nice closing score for Ian Voss. 1 minute on the clock. Carlos Bahia needs a pretty good score of a 6.5.
you'll see Mo still just paddling out. Mo's just out there having fun. He doesn't care that he has to surf a few more times today.
He's the youngest guy, like you said, so he's probably got the most energy.
Looks like we've got White going for probably his last wave of the heat, trying to negotiate that section, using his paddle, using his board speed, but not quite getting enough to get around the section.
That's Carlos Bahia with a last-ditch effort, looking for a 6.5. Not going to have it there. 20 seconds remaining. And I think for Mo, it is just a kind of a helpless feeling standing on the beach while the heat is still going. He can't help himself. Counting down. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heat number 9 standing by. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so results from a heat. The last heat looks like Ian Vaz took first place, Mo Freitas in second, and Carlos Bahia finishes in third. But that last score, Ian Vaz earned a 7.0. That was enough to overtake Mo Freitas. But both surfers advanced to round 4. Ian in first, Mo in second, Carlos in third. In this heat right now, in red, Kekoa Awai. In white, Arsen Harehoy. And in blue, Noah from Cavella Janela. Check in heat number 10, Keahi de Aboitz, Peo Lizarazu, Connor Baxter. Check in.
As we see Mo Freitas walking up the beach, he's one of the few competitors that is able to carry his board with his arm on the other side of his board. Mo with incredible balance and skill. Nice wave as we see Blue up and riding on his backside. Nice crossbow turn. Again, driving down the line. Oh, trying to float off that section. And Rocky, we've got red.
Here we go. This is Kekoa Awai from the west side. We got Noah from the north shore, Kekoa from the west side, and right now red, Kekoa smashing it off the top beautifully right in front of Noah Janela. And kind of almost said hello to Noah's board. And now Kekoa looking for that reform, and he will kick out of wave number 1 with a nice turn off the top. Only got one turn, but it was a quality turn, so we'll see how the scores come in for that one. Noah Janela had a nice couple of turns as well, and unfortunately kind of was leaning a little too forward on that floater and got separated from his board. 20 minutes on the clock, and we'll update you with scores as soon as we get them here.
As Carlos makes his way up the beach, great heat for Carlos. These competitors really enjoying today out here at Sunset, and all of you that making your way down here, tell your friends, tell your family the sun's coming out, the waves are pumping, and the surfers are stoked, ready to show their skills here today as we're starting our third heat of the day. We've got Arsen Harehoy in white out there by himself in the lineup. Arsen had a broken board the other day, the first broken board of the contest, charging out there.
That thing was broken clean, no doubt. It looked like somebody sawed it in half. It was no fiberglass hanging. That's an indication of just a very powerful, quick snapping of the board. That was on day number 1, I believe, when we were here. Last week, Friday, for some big 10 to 12-foot surf. And here is Arsen on the outside in white. He is our competitor from Tahiti, one of a few that have traveled from down south up to Hawaii to compete here. Tahiti, of course, kind of a cousin island to the Hawaiian island chain. We have a lot of roots from Tahiti, the Hokulea, of course, sailing back and forth from Tahiti. Still to this day, all the way back from the ancient Hawaiian times, and we have recreated the voyage using the stars as navigation down to Tahiti, and Arsen Harehoe wraps up wave number 1. First score coming in for Keikoa Awai, a 4.75. First score coming in for Noah Janela, a 2.75. So Keikoa out in front with that first score. Stand by for the first of white.
Noah from Kawela Janela, one of the nicest kids you'll meet on the tour. The tour is filled with some amazing people. Noah is one of them and his family. Noah, one of the first stand-up paddlers to sign with Hurley, showing his skills not only in stand-up paddle surfing, shortboarding, longboarding, and hunting. Noah's also an accomplished painter, and just an incredible kid. He's talented in so many different ways. Shout out to his dad, Sean, and all the Janela family. They're either watching or they're here supporting. As we see fans making their way down to the beach, you've got a great spot right there by the Malibu Rum Flag, setting down their blanket, ready to enjoy the day and enjoy the surfing.
And also enjoy some sunshine that's peeking through over the mountain ridge at this time. It is just before 9 o'clock Hawaiian Standard Time, and it's always beautiful. 16 minutes, 30 seconds. First score for Arsen Harehoe, a 1.9. Arsen is in third. He needs a 0.86 to go to second. And on the outside, we've got more waves approaching, so not a shortage of surf here. All right, so judges will soon have the advantage of a replay screen to get the scores even more accurate and more correct, and kind of following in the footsteps of the ASP, kind of setting the standard for professional surf judging. And
We've got Red continuing on this wave. We're just figuring out some technical difficulties. Red off the top. That's Keikoa Awai just coming unstuck, but he got a couple of nice turns out the back, really trying to accentuate that wave and put another score on the board to add to his 4.75.
And more waves out the back for fellow competitors, Noah Janela, Arsen Harehoe. We'll see if they can work their way into position. You see Noah going over that first wave there. And Arsen appears. And there's one peeling across the Sunset Beach lineup. Hawaiian Water Patrol passing through the frame. And this one's stretching out a little bit. This is when Sunset gets a little tricky, because the in-between size will have it breaking on the point for some sets, and then it'll be swinging wide to the west bowl for some sets as well. So you see where Noah is. He's way too deep. Arsen just a little too far in, but they're going to work their way towards our way, this way, to hopefully take advantage of this next couple of waves.
And those were a couple of really nice waves that went unridden, and these are some of the top stand-up paddlers in the world, and even with the advantage of standing on their board and having a paddle to try and hunt down the waves, You see Noah and Arsen still missed a couple of really nice waves as Keikoa Owai is making his way back from his last wave.
Well, I can tell you who's stoked about that is Keikoa Owai paddling back out. But here's Noah on a deep one. This is the one he was waiting for. On his backhand, nice big bottom turn. Kind of a check turn underneath the lip, couple of paddle transfers, and then finally gets up and over the lip with a nice carving turn on his backhand. And another turn before that wave closes out. So he gets another score on the board to solidify his second place positioning.
Really nice wave by Noah. You saw that first bottom turn. He kind of did a double turn as
Right.
we've got some fans.
Here I am. Somebody's on the phone looking for somebody. But yeah, Noah, I thought he might have went a little bigger on the first turn, but he played it safe on that one. But then he got some nice turns going from then on.
Oh, look at this one. Building for Arsen Harehoe out the back from Tahiti. Arsen in white. He's currently in third place with a 1.9. Let's see if he can catch this one. One of the bigger waves we've seen. And no, you see that one just land on top of him.
That wave caught him, and he has to bail off his board. Last score coming in for Keikoa Owai, a 5.75. So Keikoa Owai in first. Second score for Noah Janela, a 4.45. So Keikoa in first, Noah in second, Arsen in third. White needs a 5.3 to go to second place. 11 minutes and 25 seconds.
There's Team Nash. Looks like, excuse me, that's not Team Nash over there. Who is that? Sean Pointer? It's tough to see from up here in the booth. That's Chuck. Yeah, Sean. Chuck Patterson. Is that Tucker Ingles? Everyone watching. See, there's surfers and competitors and fans starting to flock to the beach here at Sunset.
It is a beautiful Aloha Wednesday, the day before Valentine's Day. So all of you lovebirds out there, get ready for a beautiful weekend. President's Day coming up on Monday. So it could be a possible 5-day weekend for some of you lucky buggers. I might try to pull one of those. We'll see.
Got a little bit of a lull here in the action. See the competitors repositioning themselves. We've got Noah Janela in blue making his way back out. We've got Keikoa Owai in red and Arsen Harehoe closer to the point, waiting to put his second score to add to his 1.9. Currently, Arsen is in third. He needs a 5.3 to move up to second place. Noah Janela with a 2.75 and a 4.45. Total heat score of 7.2. Noah needs a 6.05 in order to take over first from Keikoa Owai, who's sitting with a 4.75 and a 5.75. Keikoa getting the longer waves of the heat. Fell on a couple of ending maneuvers, but really could have added to his score. On screen, you see Noah and Keikoa, the heat leaders. Noah, Nash team rider. Arsen Harehoe riding for Rogue. We'll see a number of Rogue competitors coming up in later heats, such as Aaron Napoleon, Brennan Rose. Brennan Rose is going to be in a fun heat with Matt Becker, Kala, and another top Hawaiian surfer, Ikaika Kalama. That's going to be an incredible heat. 2 Hawaiians versus 2 Californians. 4 competitors from the United States left in this event. We saw on screen Sean Pointer and Chuck Patterson to go along with Matt Becker and Sean Brennan. Excuse me, and Brennan Rose. Brennan spends a lot of time on Maui with Zane.
And here we go, an exchange on the outside. It's Arsen Hadehoy taking off deep. Coming around the corner, nice top turn there for Arsen. And another nice big bottom turn into a top turn. But that wave got so foamy from the previous wave. And it kind of threw Arsen off a little bit. And literally kind of tossed him off his board there. So he gets one turn. And he kicks out, or actually wipes out. And then he will be turning in his second score that we will give you shortly. He needed a 5.3. Not sure if that was going to do it there. We'll have to wait and see what the judges think. Meanwhile, it's Keikoa and Noah out in front, number 1 and number 2, with 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining.
You know, that's the hard part with contest surfing. You wait out the back for so long trying to find a good one. But then there comes a point where you really need to just put scores on the board. So we saw Arsen going for a wave that maybe he wouldn't have earlier in the heat, but he definitely needs to add to his 1.9.
I'd like to thank one of our great sponsors, Turtle Bay Resort, providing hospitality for a lot of our crew and competitors here at the Stand Up World Tour, Sunset Beach Pro. Also for their day number 1 last Wednesday of hosting the Turtle Bay Women's Pro and the Nakamakai Youth Challenge on site there at Turtle Bay. So much adventures to be had on site at Turtle Bay. Come and check us out. We are the official gateway of the North Shore as we see Arsen Hadehoy on the outside. Gets a wave, not too much critical section to work with. Only going to get a nice cut back there, and a big wall of white water is engulfing him at the moment. He will get the connection and ride this one all the way through, looking for that final section to kick out over. Last score for Arsen was a 3.0.
As we see the next heat making their way to the water's edge, we've got Kiahi Diaboitz in red with a first round heat score of 15.5. Really we've got just a quick in and out for Keikoa Owai as we see Connor Baxter and Kiahi making their way out. Connor jumping on his board, stylish. Kiahi just making his way out there. One of the best things I saw in the contest was Connor Baxter taking off switchfoot. He's a natural regular foot. He's a goofy foot surfer, but took off regular on a bomb, came off the top, switched paddles, and switched stance on the top turn.
Whoa, where was that at? Was that a few days ago?
That was a couple days ago in the heat, and I'm not even sure if the judges saw it. It's a very tough maneuver that you see some of these windsurfers where they're used to being on both sides of the board, facing both directions, and they're really comfortable on stand-up boards. We've also got Peo Lizaru in white making his way out as we see a set approaching. Peo is our competitor from France.
And if you ever seen his calves, they are very, very strong lower half for Peo Lizarazu. That's how he's able to maneuver that board around so easily. And he's a former finalist here at the Sunset Beach Pro. Last score for Arsen Hadehoy, a 2.1. Arsen, you need a 4.21 to go to second place. Arsen needs a 4.21. Meanwhile, second place being held by Noah from Cavella Janella. And first place being held by Keikoa from the West Side Hawaii.
What an amazing family of surfers. A couple of weeks ago, I believe it's his younger brother or nephew, Keola Owai, caught a bomb out at Makaha for one of the big wave contests that they have there. Canoe surfing, stand-up paddle surfing, all sorts of action there. The Makahiki.
Three minutes remaining. Yep, and I grew up surfing with Kekoa's older brother, Kamu Owai. We had many heats together through the Minihuni and boys and juniors divisions on shortboards. And then he graduated into the longboarding and stand-up paddling. But longtime friends with the Owai family, and always great to see them at the beach. And they are definitely, they've got so much skill, but they let their skill do the talking, which is the most attractive thing about the whole family. And lots of talent there in the Owai Ohana.
Very much so, as I saw Kamu at Makaha a couple of weeks ago attempt a kickflip on his longboard and almost landed it, which was incredible, as we see blue. That's Noah Janela up and riding. Noah on his backside, coming off the top, setting up for a big second turn. Boom, nice crossbow turn as he switches sides with his paddle. Another crossbow turn, throwing lots of spray. Noah coming off the bottom one more time, hitting the lip, and the lip hitting him on the way down. Noah got in a couple of good turns out the back.
Well, you know, he is possibly going to be replacing that 2.75 that's currently counting towards his total score. So he's got a 4.45 and a 2.75. That last score will hopefully help him improve on that 2.75. And with 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining, it looks good for Noah and Kekoa, unless Arson can get a wave here in the last minute. He's looking for a 4.21. Here he is up and riding. Down the line speed for the Tahitian. Floating up over the top, he kicks out. Maybe sees something more out the back, which I believe he is correct. And if he can get one of those waves with 50 seconds remaining and get a 4.21, he could be in position. But that 4.21 going to be obsolete because Noah will improve on his score. So Arson will need a higher score to get into second. 30 seconds. And the wind filling in pretty good here. A little bit from the northeast. On the outside, red. Big late drop for Kekoa Owai, and he gets demolished. Arson Harehoe taking advantage. 10 seconds remaining. Big bottom turn, snapping under the lip. Needs to do something spectacular. 4, 3, 2, 1.
As we saw a flurry at the tail end of that heat, I'm not sure if Arson's going to better his heat total. Looks like unofficially Noah Janela and Kekoa Owai advancing, but we'll wait for the final scores to lock in.
Well, the last score turned in by Noah Janela of 5.75. That really extended the lead for him in front of Arson Harehoe. Arson needed a 7.2 to advance. I'm not sure if he got it on that last wave. Here we go. Counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And Rocky, I would like to correct myself on the kickflip that I saw at Makaha. It was one of the DeSotos. It was Makumai DeSoto, younger brother of Dwayne, who is the founder of the Nakama Kai. So that was the kickflip that I saw.
Well, when you talk about surfing ohanas from the west side, of course, the Keolanas, the Owais, the DeSotos, probably one of your top three that you think of right off the bat. But as you said, Dwayne DeSoto, founder of the Nakama Kai with co-sponsorship here, providing us with coverage of the Youth Challenge over at Turtle Bay Resort. There's a shot of your heat winner, Keikoa Awai, on screen, making it back to shore safely. Paddle and board in hand. Right now in heat number 9, we've got, heat number 10, Keahi de Aboitz in red. Peo Lizarazu in the white jersey. He's been in every final here of the Sunset Beach Pro. And Connor Baxter is out there in the blue from Maui. So we have an Australian, a Frenchman, and a Hawaiian in this heat number 10. Heat number 11, check in. Another mixed bag. Benoit Carpentier, Poi Nike Rioja, and Zane Schweitzer check in for heat number 11.
As we see a shot of our competitors just setting up to get their first rides of the heat. If there's a barrel to be found out there today, I'm going to dare say that Keahi is going to find it. He is no stranger to finding barrels on a kite, on a shortboard, on a stand-up, basically anything.
Well, we saw Carlos Bahia able to get a quick little shampoo shower barrel for the first heat of the day. He actually got into a nice long one, completely covered, but it was a little bit too fast for him, and he wasn't able to make the exit. But there's definitely a hollow section out there today. Going to be difficult to find with these winds a little more northerly. We're hoping that they clock around a little more easterly later on in the day. But look at this set on the outside, Anthony. It's coming in, and no shortage of surf here. That's what we like to see for any competition here at Sunset Beach. And we've got it for the Stand-Up World Tour Sunset Beach Pro.
What a great call by the Waterman League and everyone here. We've got White up and riding. That's Peo on his backside. Peo trying to get around the section. Off the bottom. Paddle transfer turn off the top. Paddle transfer again, making his way down the line. Boom! Nice big hit. Off the lip, paddling away, saving his energy. Nice opening wave by Peo.
Man, he's got so much speed down the line, and all his turns seem to feed into the next turn. He's got really great combinations, and showing why he has made it to the final each and every year here at the Sunset Beach Pro. On the outside, Connor Baxter. And he is on his backhand, way out in front, leaning into this roundhouse cutty. And switches the paddle over. And now finishes with a nice carving turn as that wave closes out. And on the outside, looks like red, Anthony.
That's Keahi de Aboitz from Australia. Keahi coming off the top, riding a smaller board today. We look for some radical surfing from him. Paddle transfer, cutting back. Oh, throwing the tail a little bit, but just coming unstuck. Talking about radical surfing. There he was. Looks like we've got Noah Janela on the beach.
Hey Noah, so good heat day for you. How'd it feel?
Oh, it felt good. It's always fun. It's a little smaller than previous days' competition, but busting out the smaller boards, kind of surfing off the point. But yeah, I managed to find a couple fun ones out there. And definitely don't have to worry about the cleanup sets anymore, so it's fun, kind of just playful out there, and just gotta pick the right one that lines up and go for it. Yeah.
Good job out there.
Thanks.
Noah moving on to the next round. If you haven't had a chance to meet Noah Janela, you should come down to Sunset Beach and say hi to Noah and cheer him on. Noah Nash team rider. As we see Keahi making his way back out after his opening wave. We're going to go down to heat winner Keikoa Awai on the beach. Keikoa, nice heat.
It's kind of tricky. But I was able to catch couple of good ones and make it all the way across. Kind of hope to catch a bit more, but that's how it goes.
And on the way on to the mixed seat, excited?
Yeah, definitely excited coming from the trials. Surf a little bit more than the rest of the guys, but hopefully the waves clean up more and some good surfing on the way. Thank you.
And we're back with live heat action in the water. In red, Keahi Deaboitz. In white, Peyo Lizarazu from France. And in blue, Connor Baxter. We've got Peyo up and riding on his backhand. Nice bottom turn, throwing some spray off the top, coming back down vertically. Little bit unstuck on that second bottom turn. Paddle transfer, hitting back off the white water. Peyo really getting in some carving turns on this one, banking off the white water once again. Paddle transfer as he kicks out again. Peyo, his first wave came in at a 5.0. That wave will add to his score, which was his second wave ridden. Score is coming in for Connor Baxter. Connor Baxter in red, in blue, excuse me. Connor's first score was a 3.25. And Keahi Deaboitz in red, his first score coming in at a 2.95. Had he made that tail slide at the end, I'm sure his score would have been a little bit higher. Keahi's waiting out the back. Deep down the point with Connor Baxter just to his inside. We have a nice shot of some of our boards. It's a nice starboard on the beach. Could be Zane Schweitzer's pro model. As we have red up and riding, that's Keahi. Keahi way down the point. Oh, boosting air. I think that was just for the fans. He knew he wasn't going to make that wave. Kind of mushed out on him, but as you said, nice aggressive air. We have a replay. Keahi with lots of speed. You can see him looking at the section. Bam, blows the tail out. That's what you call just a fun pull out on a wave here at Sunset Beach. Keahi really looking for something that's going to line up all the way to give him multiple turns. I think he knew that wave was only going to allow one turn, and he definitely went for it on that one. Keahi, no stranger to very high scores. Keahi with the first ever 10-point ride in the Stand Up World Tour. That was at Huntington Beach a couple of years ago. As we see a couple of waves approaching. We've got 2 more heats left to go in this round. 2 more heats. Hello, everyone out there. I'm just standing up in the booth. Anthony Vela, Sunset Beach Pro. As we go back to the action in the water, looks like we have Peyo Lizarazu from France having a look. Decides that one's not going to provide much of a scoring opportunity for him, as we see some rainbows out the back. And Connor Baxter having a paddle. Oh, Connor. It looked like he was grabbing his rail to get barreled, but the wind just lifted him and his board up. Connor perhaps needing to eat a few more steaks to gain some weight to make it down the face of that one. Connor Baxter, no stranger to huge waves and wipeouts. Connor is one of the most underrated surfers on the tour. I was talking with cameraman Matty Schweitzer yesterday as we see Zane Schweitzer's board and paddle ready to go. Connor Baxter, along with several of the other Maui competitors, Kai Lenny, they're no strangers to the big waves. Paddle in surfing, stand-up paddle surfing, wind surfing. Connor's been out at Jaws many, many big days. Connor just turning 18 years old. You see all 3 of our paddlers, all 3 of our surfers having a paddle. repositioning. We've got some scores coming in. Peo's second wave with a 6.5 to add to his 5. Peo's in first with an 11.5 total heat score. In second place, Kiahi Diaboitz just got a 1-point ride to add to his previous 2.95. He has a total heat score of 3.95. Kiahi needs an 8.55 to take over the lead. As we see on cue, Kiahi up and riding. Nice turn off the top. Kiahi setting up for something big for a second turn. Sweeping back to the bottom part of the wave. Waiting to line this one up on the inside for something big. As we see White out the back on a nice set wave. Boom! That's our heat leader, Peyo Lizarazu from France. Second turn under the lip as the lip comes down on him, but he paddles away, leaving Connor Baxter out the back, dropping in. What a nice exchange. Connor on his backside. Paddle transfer turn off the top. This one not looking like it has much of a wall. Connor with a very nice second turn. Trying to milk this one as much as he can. Nice float off the top. Boom, and another turn. This one really lined up. Connor just coming a little bit unstuck, but he'll milk this one. Another little turn off the whitewater. Connor just loves surfing and having fun. This wave turning into a left for him. Connor with a nice cutback going left, banking off the whitewater again. He was proving me wrong about this one lining up for him. Connor Baxter getting one of the longest rides of the event, pulling out into the channel on the other side of Val's Reef, and he'll paddle back out. What an exchange of waves by our competitors, all three of them getting some big maneuvers, and the judges have their work cut out for them with these 3 new scores to lock in. Just having a little meeting up here in the booth, trying to make this live webcast the best it could possibly be. And speaking of the best they could possibly be, we've got Kasper Steinfeth from Denmark. I'm one of Kasper's biggest fans. He is just an incredible competitor. Kasper taking out one of his idols, Bonga Perkins, in an earlier round. Kasper also tied Bonga Perkins in the first round. Bonga Perkins working with the Hawaiian Water Patrol, last year's event winner. As we're still waiting for our scores to lock in, we've got a shot of Zane Schweitzer, FCS team rider, getting his fins all set up. Trying to see what fins those are. Looks like he's got a mixture of fins. Zane's always doing some crazy things with fin setups. I know I've talked with him and Connor, and those guys like to ride twin fins, but on the back part, not on the front part of the quad, on the rear part of the quad. Zane riding a thruster today.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, it looks like we got some scores coming in for Peyo Lizarazu, jumping out to the lead in the white jersey. And here is red up and riding. This is Kiahi Diaboitz. A smaller wave, but he links a little connection for a nice floater off the top. Caught this one from further over on the point. And, you know, with the swell size the way it is today, and when we watch the conventional surfing events, the guys have to kind of pick or choose one side to sit on just because paddling a shortboard 150 yards across the break is not as efficient as if you had a paddle and a paddle board. Granted, these guys are riding smaller boards as well, but you do get quite a bit of more thrust and propulsion with the paddle instead of just your hands in the water.
Which definitely allows these competitors to try and catch waves more at the point, even though it's a little bit smaller, and connect them all the way into the inside. See, in some of the other shortboard competitions, you might have two surfers out the point and two surfers more on the inside, depending on their strategy and their positioning within the heat.
Yep, and these guys can cover ground, and if they see one swinging wide with their better perspective standing on the board, they can move to get that wave a little sooner than a shortboard surfer would be able to. So we'll see if they can at least cover the lineup and have more choice of better waves by having those advantages.
As we see a shot of young photographer Candace Appleby shooting Zane Schweitzer and Nash team rider Poi Nike making their way out for the next heat. Candace getting behind the lens, taking some lifestyle photos of all these competitors. Candace placing second place in the women's Turtle Bay Pro last week.
Starting off the year very nicely for this first year of the Women's Stand-Up World Tour that will be traveling around the world and putting these Wahine paddler surfers into all kinds of different conditions in different countries around the world. Should be a lot of fun and should be exciting. Up and riding. Oh, crucial mistake there for Connor Baxter on a nice-looking wave. Catches a rail and goes down before he can even get a single maneuver in. So that will be tough for third place
And you
sitter right now, Connor Baxter.
And Connor actually took off Switchfoot on that one. Connor in third place with a 4.1 and a 3.25. Connor got a 4.1 on his last wave, as we see Peo, our heat leader, up and riding on his backside. Little check turn coming off the bottom, right in front of the whitewater section, coming off the top, and not deciding to hit the whitewater on that one, just pulling out and setting up for another wave.
Thought he was going to chance it, maybe risk it there, but you know, he's such a savvy competitor that he knows he needs to take it heat by heat, wave by wave. Probably feels pretty good about his scores, and saving his ankles, saving his legs, his equipment for something further down the line, because he does have in mind, he wants to win this event. He's been in the finals each of the 3 years it's been here. That's kind of like the Buffalo Bills, if you ask me. Like, you know, they got to the Super Bowl, but they weren't able to win it. So you know he's hungry this year.
He's got to be starving. And coming all the way from France, that's really a testament to his surfing and his ability to read the ocean and the water to be able to make the final here at Sunset Beach each of the 4 years. This is the 4th year of the Sunset Beach Pro, part of the Stand-Up World Tour, presented by Waterman League.
Well, with the way he surfs, and like you said, his wave knowledge, you know, and he keeps competing here, I think it's only a matter of time before he does break through and get one here. Well, so far he's number one in this heat. 2 minutes remaining. Looking good for Peo Lizarazu on the outside in red. This man is in second, Keahi de Aboitz, and looking to solidify that positioning. Looking a little loose on that board. He's letting the tail release after each turn, throwing some nice snaps off the top, and then kind of lays into that one as I think he thought it was going to kick out a little more, but nonetheless able to hold on and get one more opportunity for an aerial attempt. So stand-up paddle aerials, Anthony. Now we're starting to see it all, and it's getting really exciting.
Yeah, we saw a couple of aerial maneuvers by our Italian competitor, Ayrton Cozzolino, as we see a replay of Keahi's wave.
But Ayrton's were chop hops. Was more of a legitimate air that that you can use a section with a lot of speed.
Very true, very true. As we see Keahi, you can see his foot positioning there, really moving it back up to continue in this wave. Nice layback, staying really low and centered on his board. Paddle transfer, coming back off the whitewater. Now he's setting up for his final maneuver. Boom! Launching right there, but just coming a little unstuck as we've got 45 seconds left to go in this heat.
And we've seen some aerials landed by stand-up paddlers. The first one I ever saw on video of a completed aerial maneuver was of Zane Schweitzer. And it was a front side, just lipper aerial, landed it. And then I saw one recently, a sequence in a magazine of Kai Lenny. But it shows you Keahi nearly landing that one there, that aerials are possible with the stand-up paddleboard. And look for guys to be getting a lot more creative above the lip with the stand-up paddle, counting down in 3, 2, 1.
Unofficially, we've got Peo Lizarazu in first place with some big scores. We've got Keahi in second place without his last score dropping, and Connor Baxter in third place. Connor falling on his last wave, deciding to take off Switchfoot. Counting down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the water, we've got heat number 11 of round 3. In white, Zane Schweitzer from Hawaii, the island of Maui. In red, Poinike Raioa from Tahiti. And Benoit Carpentier from France, a truly international field. We've got Zane riding Team Starboard member, and Poinike and Benoit riding for Nash, the incredible talent of the Nash team led by their captain Chuck Patterson, who is still in the event, as we have a shot of all our competitors positioning themselves for the opening ride.
Yep, Chuck Patterson is in the event indeed, and in the next heat, in fact. Next heat, please check in. Pomai Ho'opili, Sean Pointer, and Chuck Patterson check in for heat number 12.
So you see the shot of our beach tents and flags. There's a lot of empty sand right now, but I guarantee you in a couple more hours there will not be much room to walk around, as fans will flock to the beach. Passerbyers will see the scaffolding and say, what's going on here? Well, what's going on is the Stand-Up World Tour here at Sunset Beach, the first event.
Whoa, is that a ladybug tent on the beach? That's pretty cool. I thought it was I thought it was the hugest ladybug I ever seen. But it is a tent that looks like a ladybug. Awesome. So just about 19 minutes, 45 seconds, and a wave coming through. We'll see if anybody's in position. We'll see one of our paddlers coming in from the previous heat. That's Connor Baxter. So that last heat, Connor Baxter in third. And there he is coming in there. In second was Keahi Boitz, winning that heat, Peo Lizarazu. But that last wave of Keahi didn't come in yet before the end of the heat, so we are still in the unknown whether Keahi was able to take the lead from Peo Lizarazu, but we know those two surfers did advance.
So we see our competitors still waiting for their first ride of the heat.
Well, just got the confirmation from the judges upstairs that Keahi's last score was a 6.1. It was enough to keep him in second, but not enough to take first. So Peo Lizarazu in first. Keahi de Aboitz finishes in second, and Connor Baxter in third. Those are your official results. And with us on the beach is our second place finisher, Mr. Keahi.
How'd that heat go for you, man?
Yeah, it's a little hard out there. There's a lot of wind and the waves aren't really too big, but I found a couple at the end and stoked to get through.
Right on. Peo always hard to surf against. How did it feel out there with him?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I had him in a heat, my last heat as well, and was stoked to win against him on that one, but that's what happens. I'm still stoked to get through, so.
Right on. We'll see you in the next round.
Cheers.
Thanks, man.
Got Zane Schweitzer in red, Poyanike Raioa in white, Benoit Carpentier in blue. Benoit and Poyanike, two of the stars of our Nakamakai Youth event that we had last week at Turtle Bay. Also the Turtle Bay Pro, the first stop of the women's stand-up tour. As we see a fan taking pictures of Connor Baxter. Connor getting interviewed by a young fan over there.
A young fan that he knows extremely well.
Connor, great heat, buddy. We see Connor and friends. That's Matt Becker over there in the black shirt getting ready for his heat coming up later. As we take it back out to the water. Competitors still waiting to open up their account with under 17 minutes to go. All three competitors still waiting for their first wave as we see Connor Baxter perhaps setting up for an interview. As we have a little bit of a lull in the action, we will take it down to starboard rider Connor Baxter.
Okay. Connor, it didn't quite go the way you wanted, but still a good showing here at Sunset Beach. How was the heat?
Yeah, I was stoked to even just make it this far. I'm not surfing much, just getting on the water every now and then on the surfboard, mostly training for surfing, but it's great to be here with all my friends and stuff, and stoked to be here. And thanks to all the sponsors making this happen. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be having this great event here at Sunset. Of course, Tristan making it happen always, and hope for the best for this new year, 2013. Can't wait. You.
Right on. Good job, Connor. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And while Connor was getting interviewed, we had a quick ride by our competitor in blue. It's Benoit Carpentier from France. He had a nice little airdrop with a gust of wind, and unfortunately wasn't able to complete any maneuvers in that wave. As we see the wind starting to shift, our competitors are much further down the point than they were in a couple of the earlier rounds. As we're approaching just under 15 minutes, we have one competitor with a 0.9, that's Benoit, catching the first wave of the heat and with a commanding lead right now.
And Benoit Carpentier actually puts a halt to any restarting of a heat once a wave is caught. So only one wave has to be ridden.
Looks like we have a few waves approaching. Perhaps Perhaps this next set may catch the competitors a little bit off guard, as sometimes in contests you want to be the furthest to the peak, and you keep pushing each other further and further down the point. As you see there, quite a bit of ways from the last heat.
Yeah, they are way on the point. And as, you know, the heat goes on, the minutes count down, you start to get a little anxious and want to move around and see where the waves are coming in more often. And they seem to be coming more often on the point because it is a shallower body of water over there. But look at where the Hawaiian Water Patrol is. Look at these waves coming through. If you were right there by yourself, you would be enjoying some 4 to 5 point, possibly 6 point opportunities right there.
And we'll see if any of these competitors choose to break off and catch waves by themselves, like you talked about. And Benoit Carpentier with a 0.9, our current heat leader, with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left. 12 minutes and 30 seconds left. We have Zane Schweitzer from Maui in red, Poinaiki Raioa in white, Benoit Carpentier, our heat leader, in in blue. Zane Schweitzer, host of the morning show here at the Stand Up World Tour. Zane, one of the great personalities of the sport. Also one of the nicest guys you'll meet. So hopefully Zane's girlfriend and Sayulita is watching him, and all the boys in Sayulita, Tigre, Fernando Stala, the Mexican national surfing and racing champion. Aloha to all of you out there in France watching.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Watching Poinaiki drop into this one. Oh, huge turn off the top on a smaller wave, but that was very aggressive. Setting up for another turn off the top. Paddle transfer, cutback, and then changing hands with the paddle again while doing the maneuver. That is really what stand-up paddle surfing is about, is using your paddle in combination with the board.
Yep, that's what the judges are looking for, that technique with the paddle in hand and doing all the switches and proper grips. And we see on the outside Zane Schweitzer and Benoit Carpentier looking to see if there's anything headed their way.
Zane had his game face on again today, and I see some waves approaching, and I can tell you Zane is going to want to really do something big. Two paddling, Zane Schweitzer up and riding. Boom, blasting off the top while switching sides that the paddle is on. Zane opening up his account with one maneuver, but that was a very, very aggressive maneuver off the top, and he looked smooth while doing it. He was not out of control at any point during that turn.
Yep, and we'll see how the judges score that first wave for Poinaiki Raioa.
We see a replay of Zane's big maneuver. Boom. And notice how he changed hands while he was hitting the white water. That was a nice maneuver. We'll see what the judges give him.
And Zane gets on the board. See, now if I was him, got that one wave under my belt, I would be separating myself and looking over to my left. You see where the Hawaiian Water Patrol is sitting, and that wave hitting that zone right there. You'd be unchallenged for that wave. So I would move over this way, but that's just me.
And I'm sure his brother and cameraman, Matty Schweitzer, is trying to give Zane some mental tips. Matty, also an accomplished surfer, charging that session at Jaws. As we have, looks like Ben up and riding, Benoit Carpentier from France, trying to get ahead of the section, using his paddle, using his board speed, getting a nice little chandelier, cutting back into the white water, but that one just fading out, getting his second wave of the heat to add to his 0.9. First wave of Poinaiki Raioa coming in at a 5.5. He takes over the heat lead with those aggressive turns on his first wave, scoring him a 5.5. And Zane will have a score that'll be dropping in soon.
Well, you see Zane looking over to the left. He sees these waves coming in. 8 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. And he has a chance to sneak over and see if he can pick one off.
That's Nash team manager Chuck Patterson with his Kealoha paddle. Chuck riding for Ocean Minded. Also, Chuck is a GoPro athlete. Chuck getting some amazing GoPro footage, whether he's on his paddle-in surfboard, on his stand-up board, kite board, or on his skis. Have you seen that footage of Chuck
Yeah,
charging
the
on
snow
his skis?
Water ski, snow ski. Sliding down a huge wave. First score for Zane Schweitzer, a 3.75. Zane Schweitzer in second.
As you see Zane on screen, looking to paddle into this one. Looks like he's gotten himself into this one, tucking in, coming off the bottom with a lot of speed. Boom! Maybe too much speed, but that was an aggressive turn.
Yeah, he started off with a 3.75, and then that second score right there won't be better than a 3.75, but it'll help his cause currently in second place. This is a really close heat because of the lack of consistency in the waves. We just had kind of a little bit of a flat spell there for about 10 minutes. And now the waves are starting to fill in even more, and we should see a flurry going into the remainder of this heat, Anthony, as I think I see multiple lines outside.
You know, in contest surfing, that's when you're dealing with Mother Nature, one of the tough parts about running an event, but the decision has been made wonderfully each day to run the event, and sometimes you just have a heat that's a little bit wave starved, and it's up to the competitors to pick off the waves in order to advance to the next heat.
Yeah, and they've been on the point for so long, but we saw plenty of unridden waves wide over here, so definitely no shortage. I think it's just the competitors finding them. You got Zane from Maui, Poinaiki and Benoit probably haven't surfed out here that much, their first couple of times when it was huge earlier in the week. So Sunset, a lot different when it's this size. So I think everybody just getting a little bit kind of turned around and lost at sea out there, but they've got their waves now, and it should be an exciting rest of the heat.
That's a great point, Rocky, about Sunset being a little bit more tricky to get high-scoring waves when it's smaller. As we saw, our lifeguards, our Hawaiian lifeguards, have put the signs up, no swimming, still dangerous conditions here at Sunset. As we see in our next heat, that's Pomai Ho'opili, part of our Hawaiian Water Patrol, and his board caddy, Bonga Perkins. How's that for a board caddy?
He's going to be getting some defending champion knowledge from the channel in his board caddy, Bonga Perkins. So great to see the Hawaiian Water Patrol boys teaming up to make a run at the final here at the Stand Up World Tour Sunset Beach Pro, brought to you by Turtle Bay Resort and also the Waterman League, GoPro, one of our big sponsors here, as well as Starboard, Amp Energy, Maui Gym Sunglasses, the Hui SUP, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl, Pacifico, and Malibu, and also Go Mokulele, part of our sponsorship here. And mahalo to all of you sponsors for helping make our competition possible here at the Sunset Beach Pro.
Yes, thank you for all the sponsors bringing these incredible athletes to Sunset Beach. Competitors coming from Tahiti, from France, Denmark. We had Sven Peltonen from New Jersey advancing into the main event from the trials. And competitors from all over the islands of Hawaii, from the Big Island, from Maui, of course from Oahu, as we see a set approaching. Benoit is in third place with a 1.5 and a 0.9. He'll be looking for a 3.51 to advance into second place. Looks like we've got our second place competitor, Zane Schweitzer, up and riding off the top. Setting up to blast off the whitewater. Boom! I'll tell you what, Zane is not a lip dodger. If there is a lip to hit, Zane will not dodge it.
Yeah, that is true. It doesn't matter if there's 1 minute left or 30 minutes left in the heat. Where he is, outside, inside, he wants to smash lips. And he did so right there. Unfortunately, the second one was a little bit incomplete, but give him a good A for effort. His second score was a 1.25. That score may be a little bit better than that. That'll help his cause here and solidify second place. He only needs a 1.76 to take the lead from Poyanike. So this is a very close heat, but Poyanike up and riding here, trying to up that ante. And carving a nice cut back into the whitewater right there. Poyanike gets one more floater off that next section and completes wave number 2 to back up that 5.5, highest score of the heat so far. And 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Standing by for the third score of Zane Schweitzer. And for the last score of white, Poyanike Rioja.
Poyanike rode that wave all the way to the inside. You saw him get some nice maneuvers as the wave reformed on the inside, but he was setting up for a big turn with his paddle on his inside of his board, but the turn never really eventuated, and he had to cut back into the power source and set up for something else.
Last score of red, Zane Schweitzer, was a 2.5. That puts him in the lead momentarily, but Poyanike Rioja going to need a 0.75 to reclaim the lead, so he'll do so when that score comes in. More importantly, Benoit Carpentier, sitting in third place, needs a 4.01 to go to second. And Benoit on the outside, a little bit too deep for that one. 1 minute and 15 seconds. The heat cannot be going by any faster for Benoit, any slower for Zane and Poyanike, hoping this one to just get over while they're sitting 1 and 2. But here's Benoit.
Benoit tucking in right off the takeoff, coming off the bottom, snapping off the top with a very nice turn. He'll dive out of this one, but that was a nice little wave with an opening chandelier and a one turn off the top.
You know, the young competitor is very savvy with the juniors and did a great job in the Turtle Bay or the Nakamakai Youth Challenge. But in this men's division, to get a 4.01, you're going to need to do some lip cracking. And with 45 seconds remaining, I dare say he should not have kicked out of that wave and should have attempted something huge, because with 20 seconds, he's going to have a hard time finding another wave to get that 4.01 opportunity, as we are counting down with now 10 seconds remaining. Here we go, counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Poyanike's last score came in at a 3 to add to his 5.5. This wave will not count. This wave will not count for Benoit Carpentier from France, and as he comes unstuck.
All right, so results: Poyanike Rioja in first, Zane Schweitzer in second, Benoit Carpentier in third. Standing by to start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we are in heat number 12, the final heat of round 3. In red, Pomai Ho'opili from Hawaii, from right here on the North Shore. In white, Sean Pointer from the U.S. And also from California in blue, Chuck Patterson. Rounding out heat number 12. Heat number 1 of round 4, please check in. Bo Nixon, Cody Kerbox, Aaron Napoleon, and Casper Steinfath check in for heat 1, round 4.
As we saw, Pomai Ho'opili getting a couple of nice turns on his opening ride. Looks like we've got some waves approaching. We've had all the competitors with one ride. Chuck Patterson, just a quick in and out. Sean Pointer had a couple of nice turns before his wave fattened up. Maybe we'll get a replay of those guys opening waves as we see some waves approaching. Chuck Patterson out the back in blue. Nash rider. Sean Pointer in white. Sean riding for Team Starboard. Looks like Sean Pointer is sneaking to the inside, trying to have a look at this one. Paddling hard. Sean, a very, very fast paddler, gets into this one with lots of speed off the bottom, pulling into the barrel.
Oh.
Not coming out. You see his board fly in the air. Good attempt by Sean.
Yeah, you see more of the waves coming in now of this heat rather than the last heat right in the beginning. So just a little bit unlucky with that heat number 11. But heat number 12 getting started right off the bat with some nice sets. As we watch a replay of the barrel of Sean Pointer, you saw him launch himself forward, realizing he wasn't going to make it out. Just decided to jump forward. There are no swimming, dangerous shore break signs posted by the city and county lifeguards here in the North Shore. We thank them for the job that they do day in and day out. We still have a very strong current on the inside here, so if you are going to attempt to swim, stay very, very close to shore. We recommend not getting in the water at all if you're not experienced. As Chuck Patterson goes up and over the lip, snapping vertically. Unfortunately, little surprised when he got to the bottom and couldn't hold on. Looked like he maybe wasn't expecting to be still on his board after that, but he nearly completes a very radical top turn.
Chuck Patterson held nothing back on that one, as we see our competitors from the last round making it in. All good friends. These competitors have spent a number of days together on the North Shore during this event and all around the world at many other events. Chuck Patterson just boosting off the top, going vertical. As we have Riggs Napoleon up here in the booth. Riggs' father, Aaron Napoleon, will be surfing in a couple of heats. Aaron and Riggs are rogue team riders. Riggs is a little shy, but we'll see if we can get him to say hello while we're waiting for the competitors to ride another wave. Riggs?
Riggs not shy.
What do you think about the action here today, Riggs?
Today looks a lot smaller, but seems rippable out there. Kind of challenging though. Looks like he got the bowl over there closing out. So see how it is.
Riggs, going into your 4th year at this event. What's it like surfing here in an event at 12 years old?
The first time here was a lot bigger than this though, but it's challenging, but it's still good.
All right, Riggs. And for those of you that don't know, even after the contest was over, Riggs was still out there surfing. He'll go out by himself at Haleiwa. Riggs loves big waves. And speaking of big waves, Chuck Patterson, also a very accomplished big wave surfer. Part of that Jaws paddle-in group that had an epic session there, as a number of stand-up paddle competitors were also there with Chuck. I believe Connor Baxter paddled out that day. Cody Kerbox. Kyle Lenny is always out there at Jaws.
Hey guys, we need your jerseys back right away. All of you competitors. In the last heat, maybe there were some Menehunis. You young boys, bring back your rash guards right away. Here we go, up and riding on the outside in white. This is Sean Pointer. Sean with a nice looking wave, couple of top turns, completing another one right there. And then carving a beautiful cutback into the white water. And meanwhile on the outside, it's blue Chucky P. Chuck Patterson.
Chuck Patterson banking another turn off the top, but just coming off of his board. As we see in red, up and riding, that's Pomai Ho'opili, part of the Hawaiian Water Patrol, setting up for a nice turn off the top. He'll use his paddle to try to get back into this wave, but the wind says otherwise.
Unfortunately, went a little too high on the top turn. Couldn't get it around in time and missed an opportunity for more scoring on the inside. But he's got a 3.5. He's currently in second place. That score will help him a little bit, if at all. Sean Pointer just got a pretty good one, so he's going to add to his lead. Chuck Patterson is in third, and Chuck needs right now a 2.21, but that's going to be put up a little bit as Pomai will get a second score to back up his 3.5. With 14 minutes, we'll give you the situation when we have it filled in here, but meanwhile, Pomai Ho'opili going to check into another one. Drops in, almost loses his balance, but holds on. This time he's able to make it off the bottom, off the top, nice and clean, and then floats another one right into the section there as that one closes out and does a Hawaiian-style catapult, pull out, dismount.
We're going to go down to Benoit. I know he lost, but he's going to do it in French for the French audience, like an interview in French.
All right, coming up in just a moment, we have an interview with surfer from the last heat who is going to tickle our French crowd for a little bit.
Bonjour, donc je voudrais dire bonjour à tous les Français et remercier tous ceux qui m'ont supporté, ma famille, mes amis. Donc vraiment merci beaucoup et donc ce matin j'ai pas eu de chance. Donc première vague, je me suis cassé, je me suis fait un torticolis. Du coup la série était dure pour moi. J'ai préféré pas trop prendre de risques pour voilà, pour pas me casser quelque chose, comme il me reste à peu près 20 jours ici à Hawaï, donc profiter du reste et pouvoir bien me soigner et surfer le reste du temps, bien profiter. Et voilà, je voudrais vraiment remercier tous ceux qui m'ont supporté. Et voilà, je souhaite une bonne chance à Zane et Poenaki qui ont vraiment scoré donc, pour le reste de la compétition.
Merci Benoît.
All right, Benoit, the French tickler, Carpentier, going down in that last heat, but we saw him in the finals of the Nakamakaya Junior Challenge, and man, he has got a lot of potential. We're going to be seeing him on the World Tour for many years to come. Tough luck, Benoit, but better luck next time. But congratulations on your final appearance at the Turtle Bay Nakamakaya Junior Challenge, and we'll hope to see you in the next competitions doing well, as we know you will be. Now we're going to take you down to second place finisher in the last heat, advancing in a tough heat, a very close one, Mr. Zane Schweitzer.
Zane, talk us through that heat, man.
Oh, well, it was a close heat. It was scary for me and Benoit and Poenaki. We were all really deep on the peak, pushing each other the whole time. And yeah, you know, we were just waiting for a wave. It was a pretty slow heat, and we were all looking at each other the whole time like, oh my gosh, we need a wave. And I just barely caught a wave towards the end of the heat, and I think that's what squeaked me through. And yeah, so it's tough conditions out there, even more so today because the waves are smaller. And yeah, so I'm very grateful to make it through. No more heats like that. Hopefully the waves start pulsing in some more, and yeah, we'll have some more action for you guys.
Good job, thank you, Zane.
All right, aloha.
That's Zane Schweitzer, host of the morning show, part of the Stand Up World Tour. Zane, really, really great family. Shout out to his parents who helped put on youth shortboard contest on Maui for many, many years. A number of top professional surfers have gone through the Schweitzer surf contest.
And we've got a score coming in for Pomai Ho'opili. Pomai's last score, a 3.15. So Pomai is in second. Sean Pointer is in the lead. And Chuck Patterson in fourth, needs a 4.15. Sorry, Chuck Patterson is in third, needing a 4.15. Pomai in second, in advancing position. And leading the heat, Sean Pointer with 10 minutes and 15 seconds. His last score was a 6.5.
As we see Sean Pointer having a paddle, dropping in, deciding to not drop in on this one. Just having a little bit of a glance, but with his 6.5 and 2.6, he knows that he needs a pretty big backup score to maintain his lead. And Sean and Chuck, two of the remaining 4 competitors left from the United States. A number of competitors from Hawaii still in the competition.
All right, so we've got about 9.5 minutes. Welcome to the final day of competition. We will be crowning a champion of this Sunset Beach Pro here today, and this is White Up and Riding Sean Pointer. Currently number 1 in this heat, and just gets a rail. Actually, on that second turn, his nose pokes under in that steep section, right as I was giving him compliments for being number 1 in the heat. But that comes with the territory here in the announcing business. You're going to jinx some people time to time.
Sean Pointer, number 1 in this heat, currently the runner-up for last year's Stand-Up World Tour. These competitors have 22 minutes per heat to catch their 2 best waves will be scored. The judges will be looking for speed, power, flow, use of the paddle, length of ride.
Yep, and the critical maneuvers done in the critical parts of the wave. And we've seen an 8.25 from Mo Freitas earlier today. We saw a 7, a few 7s from our competitors in the last few heats. So there are definitely scores out there to be had. We just have to find the right waves. And also just have the right combinations of turns to get those scores. And joining me up here now as Anthony takes a break, we have a very accomplished Wahine stand-up paddle surfer in both women's and men's competition, and as a racer, Miss Candace Appleby. How's it going, Candace?
It's going well. Thanks for having me, Rocky. It's I gotta say, it's a pleasure to be up here with you. Any event that you're commentating here on the North Shore really adds an extra level of professionalism and excitement. So keep doing what you're doing. It's a pleasure to have you as a part of our sport, and everybody should give Rocky a round of applause because he's like the golden throat of SUP now. So.
Well, thank you for that, Candace. As wasn't ready for that intro, but that's very sweet and kind, and it's great to be a part of the surfing world. Competing for many years has given a lot of us an insight, and then of course it's natural to just be able to come up here and share it with the people who know a lot about it, and the people, more importantly, who don't know about it, that are finding out about it for the first time. So thank you for that. Now to the situation that we have here. What do you think the guys are going to have to do at this tricky Sunset Beach, or what would you do out there?
I think it's really going to come down to who's paying attention to the sets, when they're coming in, and where they're coming in. As we could see, there was a wave-starved heat. It's a new swell, but I think it's going to be peaking through the middle of the day. So it definitely makes it tricky when you're only out there for 20, 25 minutes. And
you're coming off a second-place finish in the first ever women's pro event that was held at Turtle Bay Resort last week, Wednesday, a week ago. And you've been in the sport for a while. You have numerous wins under your belt. What's, following that second place finish, which I know you're gunning for first, but top 2 is still an excellent start. What's your goal heading into the next event, and what kinds of things are you going to be looking to do?
Yeah, second wasn't my goal, but I guess it makes me a little hungrier going into Brazil, and it's exciting to have that hunger and that drive and that fire lit under you. So I'm just taking my second place, from Turtle Bay. I'm gonna learn from it and bring my A++ game to Brazil, and I'm really excited because I've never been to Brazil. Lots of great people from there, and I'm excited to experience the culture as well.
Yep, and we're going back to a place where Mo Freitas was able to win last year in November, Ubatuba. What do you know about the wave?
I don't really know much about it. I've heard that it's rippable, which is a good thing for contest surfing. That can be a loaded word, though. Any wave can be rippable at any time. So hopefully we get that time, and I'm really excited to go and get there early. Surf it on as many different types of crafts that I can, because that's what helps me learn a break, and I'm really excited about it. So
you ride a break with different types of crafts. So like you'll paddle out on a regular longboard or paddle out on a shortboard and just try to ride it in those different ways to see what it's doing.
Yeah, it helps I think to learn a break from lots of different perspectives. We got a rider up out the back and a short ride for Red kicking out. But like I was saying, for me it helps to learn a wave from lots of different perspectives. I started off shortboarding and longboarding and have become a stand-up paddler. And as you know, when you're stand-up paddling, you have this whole new vantage point to a wave that you think you knew because you surfed it your entire life. But it's a different perspective, and I just try to soak it in from as many angles as I can.
I found that to be very true. My home break at VLAN, when I started stand-up paddling there, it was like learning to surf all over again with positioning, as we see Pomai Ho'opili really cranking a couple off the top and then flyaway kick out. But that'll help add to his total, possibly. He's currently in second, so he's in a good position with 3 minutes and 35 seconds. He's hopefully going to extend the gap between he and Chuck Patterson in third. But like you said, the vantage point of stand-up paddling, the way of reading waves for me, it's a 6 foot difference from when I'm laying down on my shortboard to standing up. It was really like having to learn the ocean from scratch, learn how to, be in position for waves that normally at VLAN, I know exactly where to be on my shortboard. With a stand-up board, it was a lot different. So that's an excellent point.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely have a different vantage point, and you have an extra beautiful view. You get to see all the things underneath you. And, Chuck Patterson, for example, he got some footage of some sharks at San Onofre. And he ended up, on the morning show in New York City. So it's pretty neat.
Sharks are beautiful. I like to enjoy them on TV. But yeah, no, you can see so much things, especially out here, turtles and all the beautiful creatures that are swimming around us here in Hawaii. But also what took some getting used to was the fact that you have an extra piece of equipment in your hand too. And I like the adaptation of the scoring system that involves the use of the paddle while you're riding the wave, because it can look very awkward at times if you use it the wrong way, but when you use it correctly, it looks very graceful and fits well with the style of surfing. So stand-up surfing definitely getting itself put on the map with the Sunset Beach Pro, and furthermore getting put on the map with the women now having their world tour.
It's really exciting to have a women's tour, and as you look out the back now, we've got a couple waves approaching, so it's going to be interesting to see. It looks like white may be in position for this next one, or red. But
these are stretching over towards the West Bowl, a little bit more pulling off the point, and our surfers are deep, going to go left. In fact, look at Pomai Ho'opili attacking that left at sunset, looking for the barrel. Can he find it?
Where is he?
He's still going, but taking a left.
I think we need a camera angle off the point for that one. But here we go. Looks like Chuck Patterson taking off deep on this one. Don't think he's going to be able to make it around this section. But Chuck Patterson, putting on a great performance here at Sunset, surfing today with a broken rib, I was informed of.
Oh, wow. So he's injured.
Yeah.
Well, that may be an indicator of some of those early wipeouts we saw. I was thinking in my head, honestly, very uncharacteristic of Chuck not being able to make those nice carving turns as he has done so the previous years and has done very well in this competition. 45 seconds, and your heat leader, Sean Pointer, on the outside.
Nice off the top with Sean. See if he's going to bottom turn and go little check turn. Ooh, and he just comes unstuck. The section comes down on top of him.
30 seconds remaining. Sean Pointer, your heat leader, just on the wave there. Pomaiho Apili with that last left, the 3.8 possibly. And solidifies second place. And Chuck Patterson, not able to get around that section, just informed from Candace, could be surfing with a broken rib. And he will be finishing in third place. 4, 3, 2, 1. Judges standing by. We are into heat number 1 of the round 4. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is heat number 1 of round 4. Bo Nixon in red, Cody